We're getting contract details on a couple of different deals. Bosa is one of them. Can we start with DK Metcalf, though?
Sure. I don't even know the Metcalf thing.
The Metcalf thing. The DK Metcalf contract is out. 5 years, $150 million.
Right. $30 million per year.
I don't want to give I don't want to give DK Metcalf $150 million. I could never do that. The details are out. 2 years, $30 million per. And then an out. Yeah. After 2 years, there's an out with a dead cap of $18 million.
Yep.
That's it. That is I wish the Bills had done that number. His cap hit this year, DK Metcalf's cap hit this year is $11 million.
Yeah.
On
nothing.
5 years for 30, it's $11 million. And like the cap is so it's my new axe to grind because the cap exists to make you think you can't get good players when you definitely can. Mm-hmm. And it has just occurred to me today. This is today that this occurs to me. That we all know the NFL contracts are reported to look like something they're not.
Yep.
And if you ask anybody in the NFL world, like, well, why is that? Well, the agent's good for them. It's good for the agent for Metcalf. I mean, Adam Schefter's going to tweet his or her name, and say, so-and-so negotiated a $150 million deal. So it's good for the agent. It occurs to me today, you know who else it's really good for? NFL owners.
Yeah.
Owners get the perception that they have committed unbelievable amounts of money that they have not committed. Mm-hmm. They did not commit $150 million to DK Metcalf. They did not commit 5 years to DK Metcalf. But it looks like it. Yesterday, the Cincinnati Bengals, they were dunking on people in the media who thought that they would not pay T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And turns out they did pay those two. The details on the Higgins contract are unbelievable. You kind of can't believe Higgins would have accepted it. Because here it is, written at ProFootballTalk.com. $20 million roster bonus right when he signs on. But the only guarantee at signing is $10 million for next year's offseason roster bonus. Basically, the Bengals have a year-to-year option on T. Higgins. They can pay him $36 million for this year if he hits all his bonuses and plays every game. And then they can move on before next year becomes guaranteed. The Cincinnati Bengals, who just signed, a 4-year, $120 million contract for T. Higgins? It's roughly a 1-year, $36 million guarantee.
And then they can do whatever they want.
And the 36 is not guaranteed to earn that.
Yep.
Yeah. These owners get away with pretending they've paid more than they did.
Yeah.
And we all just buy it. And we all say, well, I guess you can't have a guy like DK Metcalf. The cap is too tight. No, it's not. You can have that guy. Mm-hmm. So now I'm mad about the Bills not getting DK Metcalf. They should have paid him. They should have done that. Yeah. The package was not too bad, and the money's not bad.
What's the thing I want to look at then to kind of determine, even on that front, like who's really spending the money? Who's really, because the cap is $280 whatever, but you can really spend. The point of the Bosa contract is you could put. Is he on a 1-year deal?
He's on a 1-year, $18 million deal.
Bosa? Yeah. 12.
Sorry, you're right. 1 year, 12.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack was 18. 1 year, 12.
In his situation, okay, like on the cap at least, you'll end up paying $12 million, but you can put the money wherever you want. That's maybe the biggest point here is you can put money wherever you want. Bosa, Joey Bosa, who's on a 1-year contract in the year 2025, will cost the Bills in 2029 $1.8. $1.8 million in 2029. 3 years after he's maybe played for the Bills, he'll still be costing them. It's almost like a planned buyout on a contract like you would have in hockey, just ahead of time. So you could do whatever you want with it. So do I want to look at just total cash spent on a year to find out, like, all right, who's the most? Because the Bills are number one in that this year. Mm-hmm. Right now for 2025, total cash spent. This season, at the moment, the Bills will be number one at $304 million.
How much of that is because they spent the cash on Josh Allen?
Probably a lot of it.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of it.
And, and they just signed a bunch of extensions. Rousseau, Shakir, Bernard. These are brand new extensions.
And a lot of that cash is probably getting paid now, even though the cap isn't.
All guaranteed money has to be paid right away.
Okay. So
It goes into escrow.
So that would be a reason why then, is they're paying their own guys, I guess. Next year they'll be fourth, and like as the time goes on, 2027 they go back to number 1 ahead of time. So whatever, they're still near the top of the list. But like if you want to look at the Bengals for that, you mentioned how it's like a 1-year thing. Like they're right back in like 20th in 2 years on this one number, at least. So really, you could just put the money wherever you want.
Well, Bosa, a $7 million dead cap number next year. It'll be interesting. The best case scenario for Bosa. One of the best case scenarios is he's awesome.
He's awesome and he stays healthy.
If he's awesome and he stays healthy, you're going to want to get a deal done, if you're the Bills, as soon as possible.
Right.
And extend him. The fact that he's got a $7 million dead cap hit next year, because his number is low this year and they moved all the money around, means he gets like 5 sacks in weeks 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Like, sign him.
Do it then?
You might want to. And
yeah,
I know you want him to stay healthy into the playoffs, and you also might want to bubble wrap him until he gets to the playoffs. But if he has a monster year, he hits the open market. And while you have a $7 million dead cap number as incentive to bring him back, he could just leave and go somewhere else.
Right. And that's happened to them. Leonard Floyd did that to them 2 years ago, right? 1-year deal, and he had a double-digit sack season, and he went and he took another deal. He went elsewhere for bigger money. Didn't Clowney do the same thing?
He's moved on
Maybe he's done that a lot.
All the time after 1 year.
But he took a 1-year deal. All right, I'm looking now. He took a bunch of 1-year deals. But his most recent 1-year deal that he took in Baltimore, and then he had a very good year with the Ravens, and he went outside a 2-year, $20 million contract. So the price went up.
Yeah.
And he got an extra year. So if that happens, though, with Bosa, I might still be hesitant to do it in the middle of the season because of his injury history. I just would be afraid that he has 5 sacks in 5 games, and, okay, he looks great, and we have the 7.2 next year, so let's pay him. Let's give him a 3-year extension. And then between that point and the end of the season, he has a major injury. Because then that's not going to feel great. Because that injury risk is always going to be there for him. So I might want to see a full season of him staying healthy, especially before, if I were the Bills, I'd really want to lock into him and commit more than I've already committed. Because they've committed a little bit, but it's spread out. It's very spread out over 5 years.
Yeah, I mean,
5 years
on a deal that's not that expensive.
Right.
So they're keeping that number low. So it is a low risk gamble, but it's now a lower risk gamble over 2 years than it is a 1-year gamble because of the way the money is being spread. Anyway, sorry, boring salary cap talk. But you can kind of...
But that's the Bosa conversation right now.
That is the... Right. Yeah. This is where the contract can lead you into what they expect. Hey, will you take $12 million? It's not really that simple. The answer to that is sure, yeah. And it's 9 with incentives here and this and this and this and this. But the way that it is put on your own cap tells the story of what you might be willing to do a year from now. So that's the Bosa deal. Get a Bosa jersey? Like, would you bet on him being here a second year? It might not be a bad bet. He says he wants to win a Super Bowl. He knows he doesn't have very many years left. When we talked to our guy in L.A., the Charger guy said, this guy wants a Super Bowl. If he comes here and they get close, there's no doubt they're going to want him back if he's good. And if you're close, I feel like you'd want to stay. So, over-under seasons played with the Bills. Joey Bosa, 1.5. I might put 2 as the favorite. Restructure, extend. I might put 2 as the favorite.
I would just be, I might bet the under just because of health.
They also
and the Bills' treatment of health. If he is banged up all year, their motivation to keep him around might change. In 2 different cases, they've extended the time with the Bills for both Milano and Vaughn off of seasons that were basically fully lost to injury. Well, at the same time, though, they also shrunk the amount of time that they're with the Bills. Like, they took a year off of Milano's contract.
Yeah.
Right? While also... Well, with Vaughn... Very quickly, because we didn't do this with Milano at all. Last year when Vaughn took that pay cut, I remember it being said and thinking myself, oh, they took a pay cut because maybe they made it clear to him or they made some indication that they weren't going to keep him, that they were going to move on. Were they about to do that with Milano? Did Milano take a pay cut because they were going to move on otherwise? Now,
What would the number have been? Was it possible at all?
I think it was possible. It would have been sizable, like double digits, I think.
Yeah.